If you listen, you can hear it, the silence in you.
We hold weekly meditation gatherings at the Healing Center. And one of the things that I tell our folks, especially if they're fairly new to meditation or especially new to the group, I will tell them that one of the things that very commonly will happen is that the more we try and still our mind, the busier our mind gets. And so, you know, they get ready and they're going to meditate with us and think different things like this. And so they're stilling their mind, right? Or they're focusing on their breathing. We talked about that in one of the other modules. So some of the different visualization exercises that we've talked about in some of the other modules. And they try and still their mind. So what happens is, and this is very common, is that the more they try and still their mind, the busier their mind gets. And so, you know, you'll be sitting here, okay, I'm meditating now, here I am meditating. And then you'll have the strangest things. You'll have, you'll think about, you know, what you had for breakfast this morning, or you'll have these really weird random thoughts come through your mind, and then you go, okay, I'm meditating now, so I need to concentrate now, so I need to stop thinking, right? Stop thinking, stop thinking. And the more you try and stop thinking, the more you think, right? And it's kind of like, okay, I need to settle my mind, I need to still my mind, and the busier it gets, okay? So here's the trick to that. Don't try and not think of anything, because it's just not possible. Because there's always information flowing through our mind. Here's, I was going to say the key, and it is the key, and here's a trick that you can use. Observe your thoughts. Now, here's a really interesting thing. As soon as we observe something, we step outside of it, because we can't observe something if we are in what we are trying to observe, right? So when we observe something, we step outside of it so we can see it. A good visualization, if you want to try this, is visualize those thoughts as though they were on a television screen and you were watching the television screen and watching the thoughts go across. Or watch the thoughts. Or ask the question, I wonder why I'm thinking about, let's say it's a red wagon. You know, I wonder why I'm thinking about a red wagon. And as soon as you ask that question, you slip outside of those thoughts. So you see, becoming still, and that's one of the benefits, or one of the characteristics of meditation is becoming still. Doesn't mean that things don't stay busy out here. What it means is we begin to detach from them, not disassociate from them, but detach from them. It's like, you know, we're on this roller coaster ride, and then we just take a time out. So we get off the roller coaster and we're just kind of sitting on a bench watching this roller coaster go around us and around us and around us. Well, the roller coaster is still going, but we've taken a time out and we're sitting and observing the roller coaster, and that's where that stillness comes in. So one of the things that quite likely you will experience is your mind will wander, okay? Don't think that you're doing anything wrong, okay? And don't try and force your mind not to wander, because that's going to cause it to wander more. Simply observe the thoughts that are going through your mind. And here's what you'll probably find will happen fairly quickly. As you detach from those thoughts, you will find your mind begins to slow down. Because as we detach from those thoughts, it's like we release them. You see, when we're in the middle of them, or when we're saying, geez, I can't think, you know, I have to not think, get rid of these thoughts, all this type of stuff. It's like we're wrapped up in them. But when we observe them, we detach from them, which allows them to float into the, off to the kind of the sides of the stage, you know, behind the wings. And then what happens is you'll find a new awareness comes to replace it. And its awareness that is more one of observing than it is of participating. All right? So, as I said, this is something that happens commonly. And I mean, it still happens to me, right? Especially if, and this is another advantage of meditation. Remember how I talked about how I really want to give you tools that you can use, right? Anytime, anywhere, every day. So if we're really busy, whatever that looks like, or maybe we've had a really busy day and our mind is, really chock full of stuff, or it's spinning, or it's scattered, we all have all those words that we use. So this is a very effective technique. Meditation is to release those thoughts. And so we go through some of our steps, like for instance the module we talked about breathing, right? Breathing brings us into the present moment. Begin to observe our thoughts rather than participate in them, and then we will find that our body, our being, will begin to release those, not so much forget them, but release them, so that stillness can rise up to replace them.